Once again, surprise, surprise, surprise. Back with episode 47 of BrentoCast. It is a rainy, dreary day after Christmas. That's right, December 26th, 2023. Sitting on the porch, looking out at the rain coming down on Stony Gap Road. My chickens are pissed, mainly because their chicken run is filled with water right now. Haven't been able to feed them because of the rough weather. The food that I put in for them is typically outside, so it gets all messed up if I put it down in the in the rain. So they'll have to be a little bit hungry until tonight or whenever the rain subsides. I just went through a bout of COVID-like sickness, I can only call it, thanks to a client that came in on Saturday, Christmas Eve, for a last-minute massage, saying some nonsense about, I hauled corn yesterday. It gave me a little cough. The corn, the dust from the corn gave me a little cough. You know, when my instinct says reschedule this, usually I go with my instinct. And this occasion, I was a little distracted because I don't usually work on Saturdays. This was a new client that I was doing Saturdays just to accommodate the only time they could come in. I didn't want to ruin that relationship, so I went ahead and did it. And sure enough, got sick. And I'll tell you what, Christmas Day was rough for me as far as how I was feeling. Did not get to go to the family Christmas because I was too sick. Did have to drive my mom out there because she got lost. But I stayed out in the car and then came back real early. And it was not great. And then today last night was really rough. And then today I felt really rough up to a point about maybe 12 or 1. I started feeling better. So now I'm kind of back in my normal vibe, even though I'm a little stopped up. I'm not really, really sick. The fever seems to have broken. I had a fever all night last night, so I couldn't rest. You know, it's that thing with the reason I say COVID-like, because you just go to sleep and you wake up, and then when you doze off, you sort of wake up in the same position feeling like you haven't slept. And that to me is like the COVID aspect of these symptoms. But anywho, I'm alive. We have a vacation scheduled for later this week. Supposed to be going to Florence and North Myrtle. And I don't know if that's going to happen at this point. I would have to be symptom-free in the next 2 days. Because if I feel even remotely sick, I don't want to go to the beach because the air is worse down there. So we'll see. I would imagine it'll happen as long as I continue to improve. But unexpectedly today, Nancy calls, and just like we have slow after Christmas at the store, apparently the groomer for our dog had people not show up, so we were able to just take her in today. And we were past due on her haircut, so that made sense. So she's at the groomer's, and now I have to go out and travel to the groomer's, which is no big deal, but I probably wouldn't have went out today if it wasn't for that. But that's all right. It's all good. So yeah, I don't know why I was so determined to sort of finish up the season, but I am definitely going to try to drive on to 50. I realize that the rain probably doesn't make for great listening, so I'm going to step inside. But yeah, definitely going to try to drive on to 50 because that just makes sense. Nice and neat, 50 episodes per season. It's quiet in the house right now. Wow. But it's so dreary and overcast and rainy today that it almost looks like dark, like seriously. But I was looking at my YouTube channel earlier today. Well, actually, it's on right now. I just got it muted, letting it run. Cooper, of course, the big dog that stays outside. Typically, he is curled up in his kennel because he does not like rain. He doesn't like rain even a little bit. So he will always favor being inside. And, of course, Beauty is at the groomer's, which I'm about to go get her. I'm trying to figure out if there's a way I can throw some food down to the chickens without it being a total mess. And I don't see how I can right at this moment while it's coming down like this. Watching footage of our trip to the late, great Bill Herman's house, where I scanned the whole house, took all kinds of photos, and sort of captured his art that he had done on the walls in his basement. And it makes me feel very melancholy when I look at this stuff and think about him and our years of friendship in high school and my visit out to his little super treehouse complex that he built out on the back of his land. And, he's gone now. Not going to see another like that guy, that's for sure. But it was moving to get to see all that. I've lost a bit of weight since I shot this video last year, which is great. I definitely have backslid a little bit here around the holidays, but I want to stay on that trend, giving up bread and trying to get back to doing some sort of workout every single day. And on that note, actually, that's one of the things I might do today, since I'm not really feeling well enough to be like creative and sit down and do any music work. I could clear off my treadmill and try to get that back ready to go. I don't know why my brain is this way, but it really is. If I go, I'm going to start doing a minimum of 20 minutes of cardio per day. Really you need to do 20 minutes in one setting. But to get there, I can give myself a small goal and say, well, I'll do 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes at night, and that'll just be a good start. And 10 minutes is nothing. I mean, you sit over there, you look at your phone, check your emails, you're done. And then ultimately, I want to get up to 20 minutes in the morning and 20 minutes at night. 20 minutes puts you into the burn zone, and that helps with that kind of low-impact cardio. Obviously helps me to lose weight. It always has. But it's so funny how the visit up to Bill's, the 2 different visits we did to get his puppets, which I have them all now. I haven't made any progress. I have started his website, but I haven't really made much progress with it. How I'm going to catalog them, and it's just kind of it got overwhelming. I sort of tucked them away. A lot of them were in like very moth-ridden, sort of like bad shape, and I did kind of take them all out of the original boxes and clean the box, put them in cleaner boxes, but that's going to be a big job, and it was too big for the moment. And then with Christmas coming and all the things I had going on with music, Harrison and I's albums and stuff, I just kind of put it to the side, and looking at it now, it makes me think it's time to kind of get back to that. I have been working on our website, working on learning Elementor, about to make some sort of move this next year. It's not so much out of a financial, fiscal need, but just a spiritual need. I don't need to be at our business all the time. I think as soon as we get through this thing where Summer's going to school and we're watching Delilah 5-6 nights a week, I think I need to get a way to be away from the store some, doing work outside of that, just for my sanity. You know how it is. It's like the squeaky wheel gets the grease, and then the flip side of that is if you handle your business, nobody really knows what it is that you do. In my case, I am seriously coming down on 30 hours or so of childcare per week, plus at least 8 hours of actual work, and then probably like another 10 hours of errands and stuff that I'm doing for the store. And to be thought of as the person that only works one day, and it's an honest thing. I understand why people think that, but people definitely regard me as a leisurely guy that just doesn't have a whole lot of work going on, which is not the case. That's before you even get into my digital work, which actually does pay bills. I do pay bills with that. It's a spiritually degrading kind of a situation to be in, and if I'm going to be regarded as this guy that just doesn't put in on the level of everybody else, and I mean, this is just getting into personal stuff here, but I know that's not the case, and it's tantamount to gaslighting when somebody regards me that way or says that they regard me that way. Not that it comes up very often, but I just I can just see it. I'm just like, what? I need to have another job outside of this where I can go here and there and work for 2 months. Kind of like the contracting, but maybe it's something. Maybe not contracting. I don't see myself going back to IT right at the moment. But I have had my eyes on the idea of getting my CDL so I could here and there take little contracts to drive or just do part-time truck driving. I don't know. It's funny because when I was a full-time visual designer, I felt like, hey man, I'm a professional artist. so many of my friends want to be professional artists, but they just call themselves that. They draw a little comic page here or there, but they're not really making a living. I am making a living doing art, and that really made me feel special, and good. When that went away, when I became more of a widget developer and, just a part-time kind of like, or contractors not always booked and whatnot, I started to think, well, that's I really enjoyed that, but I don't know. It's like I don't have that little point of pride anymore. And in general, like content development, even though it can pay the bills, it's not, it's not the greatest or most artistic or elegant work. It's really kind of like brute force work. Is how I regard it. Anybody could do it. You don't have to have any particular talent. You just got to learn your tools. And I don't know. I don't look at it as something that adds to the collective. Like, so a bank can make a little bit more money. I'm going to be doing this job or whatever. But truck driving, much like farming, I've always looked at and went, hey, this actually makes the world go round. Like, I have a huge amount of respect for people that work in the transportation industry and the farming industries. So I don't know. It's just something I thought in the long story of Johnny Brento. This will be an interesting chapter. That's really about all I have for that. Not that I think it would be the most fun job. I just think it would be interesting to do that job. And so it doesn't take much. It's about a 1 to 2 week school that you could take and go get your CDLs, and then you'd have it. And then if the job came along that you wanted to do, you could do it. And if not, hey, I could use it just like I have a Class B license right now, which allows me to drive the boom truck. And from time to time, if my brother needs me to go fill in and drive the boom truck, I have the license that lets me do that. It would be like that, but with driving, long distance big rigs, So very interested in that, and I don't know that that's going to happen for sure, but I feel like I'm about 90% having already decided that, when the opportunity arises next year, when summer finishes school, and I can go back to my regularly scheduled, watching Delilah like we normally did, not 5-6 nights a week. It may be time for me to go ahead and get that license and just have it. Just to have that in my pocket so that if anything happened where I needed to go to work and have another income, I could. Just a thought that I've been kicking around for some time now. But, yeah, that's something I've really, really been putting my heart and soul into as far as trying to decide definitively, and I think I know where I'm at on it, but we will see. Getting in better shape would be something I would definitely want to do, and I've been moving the needle a little bit with the diet for sure, and nobody wants to know that like the one thing they can really do to get in better shape is to really, really change their diet and inconvenience themselves a little bit, get out of your comfort food zone into a little bit more, think about everything that goes into your mouth, and at this time of year everybody kind of has that thought, around January. But that and also just getting back on the treadmill for me, in my case, just getting some activity. And, of course, I've said if I get below 300 pounds, I'm going to go back to jiu-jitsu. I'm going to go weekly. And that's just something I want to do for myself. And, I just one of them things I think about quite a bit. Anyway, I guess that's enough for this prattle session. And we will be back and decide where we go with things today, where we go with things this week based on how I'm feeling. Hopefully there'll be a beach trip to talk about over the next several days, and we'll try to get to 50 before we call this season good and finished. All right, guys, thanks for listening. Have a great day. Have a great week. Have a great life. Brento out.